We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
I don't know why you guys won't leave me alone. I'm gonna make all you suckers bow. Bow now. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. Devin Haney exposed. In this video, I will fully break it down, the finances of Devin Haney for his fight with Ryan Garcia. There's been a discrepancy. And your boy Ego gonna talk about it because somebody's got to do their job. I told you guys to leave me alone, but y'all didn't want to listen. I told y'all 9-10 times ago, stop ucking with me. I told you got the 9 on me. Stop. Knife wonder. I got to say it like Hov. I try to warn you. And you guys, the Haneyacks, they won't shut up. So go ahead and get it. Let me jump right into this baptism and crucifixion, shall we? Because I don't got no time to waste. So I posted this. Let's see the date. Posted this August 25th of this year, right? I said, wait. So Devin Haney said, think bigger, Mitch, alluding to making more than $35 million by fighting Ryan Garcia. And Ryan Garcia allegedly made $50 million, right? But then Devin and Ryan said they haven't been paid by Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. And Eddie Hearn said that Devin and Ryan rolled the dice with no minimums. This is looking shaky, baby. Well, things just got a whole lot worse. And I'm going to explain this for you because the problem with when you sue somebody is everything kind of becomes public. That's the way the U.S. judicial system works, right? So you sue somebody and then they have records and record keeping and a stenographer for these types of things. So when you file a complaint, you can, if you're savvy, you'll find out how to obtain it. Your boy Ego has obtained this lawsuit complaint, and it's against Ryan Garcia, a strength and conditioning coach, and of course, Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. So I'm going to break this down, and by the end of this video, stay tuned to the end, you will have no questions about it other than questioning what you've been told. Because for me, this is not adding up. And I said that from the beginning, but the Haneyacks, they didn't want to listen. So now y'all gonna get it. So this is the actual lawsuit that Devin Haney's legal team has filed. Your boy Ego, Boxingego, has obtained a copy of it, right? And I want to go over something. First amendment to the term sheet for co-promotional bout agreement. So as you guys know, Ryan Garcia missed weight in the fight, which means they had to revisit and renegotiate to determine, should we keep the fight going because Ryan has missed weight? Should we cancel the fight? Are you going to take penalty money? And they did that. It was decided to let the fight press on and press forward. And they made an amendment paying Devin Haney some penalty money for the infraction, as well as Ryan Garcia was no longer eligible to become a champion in the fight because he missed weight. And when you miss weight, you didn't honor the contract. It's over, right? So I've obtained the lawsuit for you guys. And this is the amendment to the term sheet because Ryan missed weight. So hopefully you guys are all caught up to speed with that. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but let's get it. This first amendment to the term sheet for the bout agreement is dated April 19th. Again, the fight was April 20th This is done because Ryan missed weight. Between Golden Boy Promotions, right, LLC, and on the one hand, Devin Haney Promotions, right? You guys can see that. Haney Promotions and Devin Haney, the boxer, on the other hand. The following provisions of paragraph 4, term sheet, yada, yada, yada. But I've highlighted it for you because this is an important detail that nobody's talking about because they don't have the actual lawsuit like me, and or they don't know what they're talking about, or they're Haneyacks. Section B, let's read it. The amount of the advance shall be increased from $2 million, right? $2,600,000 to $2,600,000. So $2.6 million. Section C, the advance shall be payable 1 business day following the completion of the event. Let me say that again. The advance for the fight, he was getting paid $2 million. And with Ryan's penalty money, add on and tack on another $600,000. So that's a grand total of $2.6 million for Devin Haney. And this is what has been agreed from the renegotiation because Ryan came in overweight. For starters, Devin Haney took to his social media and said Ryan honored the bet, which means Devin Haney lied. Because the bet that we all seen, because it was at the press conference, was Devin said, you look big, you look overweight. I don't believe that you're going to make weight. So bet me that if you miss weight, you have to pay $500,000 per pound as a penalty. Ryan missed by basically 3.5 pounds. So at the bare bones minimum, I'm not the smartest brother in the world, but $500K per pound. There's over 3 pounds for the infraction. 500 times 3. That means you would have gotten 1.5 million at the very least. Because I don't know if you want to be technical and do the half pound, because it was like 3 pounds. It was like 3.5 pounds, right? So we'll just leave it at 3. You should at least get $1.5 million, right? Just off of the bet alone. And Devin said that Ryan honored the bet. But how did he honor the bet if his team was savvy enough and then they cut the amount down, which is what Henry Garcia said. He said, my son didn't pay 1.5 million. It was 600K, 650K. And now you have the documented proof that what Henry Garcia said was accurate. I'm showing you the amended term sheet, and it says Devin's advance was 2 million and it got bumped up to 2.6 million. So that 600K was the penalty money, and they have everything in writing. So fast forward to this video. So Devin already lied by saying he got the 1.5, and everyone's like, oh, and Devin didn't notice. He did not correct anybody that kept saying that he made $1.5 million because it was being reported, because Devin said he honored the bet, right? So of course we all seen the bet. So you didn't say we renegotiated and I took less money. What you got for the renegotiation for the overweight, you were supposed to get that virtually for 1 pound. You were supposed to get 500K per pound, and you got a total of 600K. So you got jerked, my guy. You got jerked because you were supposed to get almost what you got in its totality for just him missing 1 pound, and let alone he missed 3.5 pounds. So you didn't get 1.5. So this is what I have a problem with, because I feel like it's deception, and I don't like that. I don't like being lied to. There's no one in boxing that's going to insult my intelligence in such a way. I'm not going to brag about my mental dexterity, but if you want to match wits with me, you can do it. I pay attention. The bottom line is, it's like, let's say there's a celebrity like Halle Berry or something, and I come out of a room and Halle Berry comes out the room, and then people are like, "Oh, Ego, did you smash? Did you clap?" And I just make a face like laughing, as if knowing dang well I didn't get to mess with Halle Berry. But do you see what I'm saying? You're almost like leading people to believe something that is false. And to me, that's what you would call probably like a white lie. Instead of just outright saying, "Nah, me and Halle Berry are just friends. Da 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 da. I didn't get to first base. I didn't do nothing." Right? You're trying to lead people on to believe by making a goofy face instead of just saying, "No, we're just friends." Right? That's what Devin Haney did with he honored the bet. And it had all these news outlets thinking that he made 1.5 million, and Henry Garcia did interviews and said it wasn't true. And you guys said, "Oh, Henry can't be trusted." But what Henry Garcia said was actually accurate. So that's strike one. Coming in for strike two. So I told you, I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I make this look easy. This gonna be some easy work. Easy peasy. I told y'all leave me alone. Y'all didn't want to leave me alone? Okay. The other issue is this. Eddie Hearn already blabbermouthed and said that he represented Devin Haney and they made mistakes. He said that in several interviews. Bunch of things they could have did wrong. He also revealed that they decided to roll the dice and they didn't have like big guarantees because they were banking on the pay-per-view back end, right? This is how they negotiated the contract. Because you have to understand, in a contract, in a fight like this, the money has to come from somewhere. So sometimes if you believe in your event, you'll roll the dice and take less up front to get the fight over the line. And then hoping on the back end, you make a lot of money, right? Oscar De La Hoya talked about this. He was on somebody's podcast and he talked about this, where he said he was with Top Rank and they offered him 24 million flat, like just flat, just that's it. Cause he was a star though, De La Hoya is different, but he offered him, he said, Bob Arum said 24 million or a much smaller purse, but then you're fighting Felix Tito Trinidad and then you could make some money on the back end. And he said by choosing the back end money, package B basically, he made way more than he would have with the flat fee. So it's a similar concept, right? Where Eddie Hearn already spilled the beans. I've already made a video about it. It sounds like Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney believed that their event would be big and people would actually like purchase it. It would be successful, right? So they took less money up front and they were hoping for a big event and a bunch of pay-per-view sales. Ryan was one fight removed from losing to Tank Davis, but the Tank Davis fight did over 1 million pay-per-view buys. So I think Ryan kind of overshot his celebrity and his ability to draw, because notice old media and Ryan Garcia, they all kept saying that the only reason the Tank fight sold was because of Ryan Garcia. Now we find out that's not true, because the Oscar Duarte fight didn't sell like the Tank fight, and neither did the Devin Haney fight, right? But I don't want to get lost. I want you guys to pay attention. So the reality is now it all makes sense why certain things have happened since this god-awful fight, right? For example, Ryan and Devin Haney both publicly took to social media, and I have tons of content where I talked about it, and they alleged that Golden Boy didn't pay them all their money, to which Oscar responded, and he's like, "Devin, you're pathetic. You think that you can beat Ryan and Golden Boy is not paying you? You can audit my books and see." right? And Oscar already told you, I've given you everything that you've earned up to this point. And Eddie Hearn talked about this basically too in his interviews. So basically what it is they overshot it and overestimated the pool of this fight and the magnitude of this fight. And they took smaller guarantees and now they're regretting that. That's what it sounds like to me. Now that I have this paperwork in my possession, it absolutely looks like that. This man got an advance to be paid a day after the event, one business day following the completion of the fight. So his advance was $2 million. And then he got a $600K bonus because Ryan missed weight by 3.5 pounds, which wasn't the initial. It was not the initial fee that they discussed at the public weigh-in. So I see why Devin Haney. Okay, so when you put it all together, Devin got clapped up, dropped by the left hook 1,000 times, hurt, face was swollen, and he got lumped up. His aura and imagery got shattered. Ryan is making diss songs and saying smoking on Haney pack, still taunting him to this day. Now come to find out, the bet you made publicly, you didn't even get half of that. You got $600K instead of at least 1.5 million that you were supposed to get based on the verbal agreement. And it's likely because maybe they didn't feel that. There's a couple reasons potentially. Maybe they didn't shake on it. They didn't have nothing in writing. It was just a verbal agreement. And maybe their lawyers would be like, this would be hard to get him and force him to pay the $500K per pound when all you guys had was a verbal agreement. You know what I mean? I don't know the legalities there. Or it could be because Ryan Garcia is the A side in this equation, even though Devin Haney keeps saying the Mayweather era is over. Bill Haney saying the Mayweather era is over. The Tank era is over. And it's the Devin Haney era. Maybe it's because they knew Ryan is truly the A side and he's not to be bossed around. And you wouldn't be able to boss him at the negotiating table. So when he missed weight by 3.5 pounds, you kind of had to succumb and do as he said. Otherwise, you would jeopardize the fight. And I think, and that's the other problem I have. The Haneys publicly, they'll act a certain way, say certain things, but then behind the scenes, look how they're negotiating. So you don't really believe that it's the Haney era if you're giving Ryan all the power in the negotiating table. And in true Boxingego fashion, I've saved the best for last. So now that we have decided everything and I've showed you that this man got $2 million plus penalty money, which bumped it up to $2.6 million. So they were banking on back end money, right? That's not that, like, you got slaughtered for less than $3 million. Danny Garcia said he made more than that to fight Rod Salka. There's an interview you can find on YouTube. Mikey Garcia got like 7, 8, 9 million to fight Jesse Vargas. Devin Haney's whole career has been turned upside down and it's in the lowest position that it's ever been that I could recall, even more so than the Lomachenko, because he technically won. You know, the judges had him winning. And you did this all for less than $3 million. But save the best for last. Devin previously said, if this is before he said Golden Boy hadn't paid him, he says, if you think I made $35 million, think again, think bigger, Mitch. So there were reports coming out that Devin and Ryan made like $80 million between the two of them. And to me, I initially said, based on the pulse of this fight, Ryan was acting weird. People were kind of turned off from the fight. People probably illegally streamed the fight, etc. I highly doubt that, right? And I put this content out. The videos are still up. In case you don't remember, this is the actual post from Devin Haney. You see? Real Devin Haney. Because I like to cover all my bases. This was the graphic that was put out. It claimed that Ryan made $50 million and it claimed that Devin made $35 million. And Devin Haney put this caption. He says, if you think I made $35 million, think again, think bigger, itch. Big problem. The big problem is this. This graphic claimed you made $35 million, right? You later come out and says Golden Boy hasn't paid you all your money. You would think that if Devin Haney truly made over $35 million, which is what he said and insinuated, then he probably would feel pretty good, because I would imagine that would be a career high payday, because unlike Ryan Garcia, Devin has never fought someone like a Tank that would have probably earned him that type of cheddar, right? So it's looking very shaky. You said think bigger, Mitch, as if you made more than $35 million, but then you're saying Golden Boy still owes you money. So what money do you think they would owe you if you allegedly got $35 million? Which means you are lying. It means you didn't get $35 million, and you're publicly putting out this imagery as a lie that you made $35 million, knowing it's not the truth. And that's what I have a problem with, bro. He's saying think bigger, right? Let's keep going. This is from an article who also talked about it, in case you need more receipts. However, Devin Haney denies the reports and says that his earnings exceeded that amount. On his Instagram story, Haney shared a photo of the earnings, and he says, "You think I made 35 million, think bigger, blah, blah, blah," which I just went over. While he didn't reveal his earnings, Haney's sizable payday marks a significant milestone in his career, likely surpassing any previous earnings from his past fights. Despite the loss, Haney is already clamoring for a rematch with Garcia. However, securing similar payday may prove challenging for Haney, especially if he opts out. So keep in mind, this is just my psychoanalysis of it. A lot of people were saying that Devin got whooped because this is before it got reversed and stuff like that, when he was like, think bigger. So he was probably in the pits because everybody was clowning him off the fight, and it still was showing a loss on his record. So he tried to flex and stunt on people by like, hey, you think I made 35 million? I made more than that. So he tried to do the money talk. But you can't really do the money talk unless it's true. Like when Floyd talked that money talk, oh, I got 100 mil guaranteed when I fought Pacquiao. That was actually true. And Floyd showed you the $100 million check from the bank that he showed in his possession. He posted it on social media. Devin is saying that he made over $35 million, but then I'm showing you the actual receipts from the term sheet, right? Follow me now. And it says he got $2 million as an advance plus the overweight 600,000. So that's a lot of separation we're talking about, my guy. A term sheet and bout sheet agreement that got modified because Ryan came in overweight, right? And it's showing on that ledger that you made 2.6 million as your basic purse, and then I'm assuming the rest you were hoping for a big back end check, right? So how did we get from less than $3 million, 2.6, all the way to more than $35 million? It's not making sense. And even if it did make sense and you believe he made over $35 million for a fight that people, I told you, Ryan was unselling the fight. He was acting insane. That's not a way. He had already lost a Tank, for starters. Then he was acting crazy and turning people off and talking about time travel and aliens and, Jewish people. He was doing too much, right? So it just wasn't that type of fight. Then you had two West Coast fighters fighting on the East Coast. A lot of it just didn't make sense, right? Devin, up until the fight week, they didn't really promote the fight because Ryan was acting so unhinged. It was it would have been weird if Devin was doing a bunch of trash talking. So I firmly believe this fight definitely didn't do those fake numbers that was reported. And I think that's bad to provide misinformation and disinformation. Here's some more receipts. Taken to his Instagram, Sean, this is Devin's brother, announced that Devin earned 35 plus million in 36 minutes at the age of 25. I see why y'all ninjas hate it. Y'all can't stand it before y'all really gonna be sick, he added. So you even had your brother saying you made, claiming you made $35 million. But again, as I said at the beginning of this video, it's cool to say it, but when you sue somebody, that's when the actual paperwork comes out. So for me, this looks like too high of a jump to go from 2.6 million, that's with the penalty money, to Devin Haney all of a sudden made over $35 million. It's not adding up. If you can make it make sense, which I know you can't, how do you account for that's like 32.5 more million dollars just to get to 35. And then Devin claimed that he made over 35 million. Make it make sense, people. So to me, this sounds like he was fibbing and telling lies about his purse, probably because people were roasting him. If I had to analyze it from a psychology perspective, so he wanted to flex on people. But to flex on people, you shouldn't have to lie. Like Tyson Fury could do it. Tyson Fury lost to Usyk, but he made crazy bread. So he could probably say but I lost to Usyk, but I made $40 million to fight Ngannou, and Usyk, I made another 40. You know what I'm saying? He could do that. So my point is this. I'm not mad at somebody flexing, but perpetrating and fake flexing, it's like people on Instagram. They got watered out money and it's they rent money or something, and they making it appear like they just got this as like chump change and spending. I don't know where I'm from. I'm from the Bay, bro. That's not what we do. That's not what we do. So I just find it a bit weird. And again, when you sue someone, that's when all the data comes out. So I would love for Devin Haney or Bill Haney, because Bill Haney does videos, right, to prove me wrong when I'm showing you the actual First Amendment to the term sheet. And here's another point that I need you to understand about this. This was submitted by Devin is suing Golden Boy, right? So this is what they submit. It's not like Ryan is the plaintiff and he's suing Devin at this point. I don't know of any countersuits. So this is the actual copy of the contract that your side submitted, right? So why would that show $2 million plus $600K in the overweight penalty money, which is less than what you said you got when you said he honored the bet? But furthermore, it doesn't make the think I made 35 million think bigger. That doesn't make sense to me. And I want someone to make this make sense to me. How we got from 2.6 with the overweight charge and fees assessed to Ryan Garcia to somehow you made over $35 million to fight Ryan Garcia. And then after you said, you think I made 35 million, think bigger. After you said this, you claimed that Golden Boy owes you money and you're suing Golden Boy. Like, none of this is making sense to me. So I've done my job. I've done an excellent job, like I always do, because I'm elite. This is what happens when you've been working and you don't take no shorts, no losses. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. Prove me wrong.